Suppose you lose your virginity to two girls at once in a strip club. Here is a story you don't want to miss. This legal notice is a disclaimer. Parts of this story are a work of fiction. Names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents are either the products of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead or actual events is purely coincidental. Suppose you are me. Sleeping outside ended your virginity when sleeping outside gave you the opportunity to use money as a tool to 1. Fulfill a provisional role for women at minimum, and 2. Display your sexually attractive traits to a woman who proceeded to have sex with you with a risk of procreation. So why did you sleep outside before this situation? You slept outside in this situation because you needed more time to work on your XR glasses video. Your Edge is a video showing a person with XR glasses using their voice to control their computer in multiple environments. And you wanted to publish this idea now because
You use it when you wake up, when you walk for hours to USPS and Walmart. You see, there's no growth here. Everyone is replaceable, so they say everyone is replaceable, so there are no opportunities for pay raise. The only thing that's separating you from you is the time of it. These glasses say everything. Say to yourself, need money. Do whatever it takes. I'll help they help me.
you wanted to make money doing what you loved, and this was an opportunity to do so. You could make money from advertisements by publishing your XR glasses implementation to the internet. Unfortunately, the video did not make you money because there was not enough interest in the XR glasses implementation. The ideas for these XR glasses implementations were conceived when you needed to improve your productivity while homeless, and you were going to publish a behind the scenes video for the published video about your XR glasses voice control implementation, but the lack of interest in the main video made you decide to publish your homeless journey in a future video. People who are interested in your homeless journey can subscribe and comment to watch the video about your homeless journey when it is released. So, how did sleeping outside give you an opportunity to use money as a tool? Sleeping outside eliminated your use of money as a form of support for your needs. You used to need money for sleep, food, and transportation, but sleeping outside led to a situation where you were not required to spend money on these things. Sleeping outside eliminated your need to use money for shelter once you exited all contracts related to shelters and purchased the sleeping gear shown later in the video. Some details about your rental situation at this time are legally redacted. However, I can tell you living in an apartment is not recommended because the noise of your neighbors can violate your sleep, and the landlord isn't legally obligated to address this issue. Fortunately, you are able to use other legal issues to exit your rental contract when your landlord is not operating within the law. Why waste time and money commuting to work when you can sleep there? Rideshare in a small town is costly when you do not have a car and work 14 days a month, split among 6 or 7 workday series per month. You spend up to $30 and 30 minutes in a 14-mile round trip per day to move from your home to work and then from work to home. However, you can use a $2 bus ticket to get to work in the morning, which changes the cost of your daily round trip commute to $17 at the cost of extra time. Suppose instead you were to sleep in a rented van in the parking lot of your workplace. You could wake up and spend 5 minutes walking across the parking lot to be at work immediately. Then you work 12 hours, which includes eating and bathroom breaks. Once you get off work, you could be on your computer within 5 minutes by walking back to the van. This strategy saves you the most time and costs you $20 per day, but also has an upfront cost of around $14 when you must take the van from the initial pickup location to work and back for each rental period. This strategy would be efficient, right? But what do you do once you do not need the van? You have a choice to make. You could return back to your original commute between work and home, which involves you giving money to drivers for rideshare. However, you have a problem with this because you are not satisfied with two things. First, you did not want to give these drivers your money because the money would never come back to you. The money you gave these drivers only ended up in the hands of their families, on the tables in their houses, and lost on their vacations, which were taken at times when you needed a ride. You even attempted to create a business with a set of drivers to help them pursue their dream of driving full time. But these drivers took vacations instead of working on the business the moment they received some excess money. So giving drivers your money would only help these people with their happy families and houses and vacations, but not you. This brings us to the second problem. You need help. You are a homeless virgin in a society which shuns virgins. Society claimed to save you by sending you to this small town to work a non-stop assembly physical labor job for 40 hours a week. For what? You are sexually teased by a single mother and physically threatened numerous times by other coworkers at work. Then, you go home to eat, sleep, and walk miles to any location. Now suppose your belief is money supports people. Then, you don't want to give people money. Fuck them. You are not going to support people who own cars and houses with money. You are not going to support some family by paying them to drive you to a place you don't want to be at. You are not going to support people who can't take accountability when their dogs bite you for walking down the sidewalk and the people lie about the chain of events in the police report. No, you are going to sleep near your workplace and save your money to buy whatever you want. And what do you want? Well, first, you want sleeping gear. You need to improve your camping setup because the upcoming winter is brutal. Then what? Your final desire is to finish your music gear setup. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for your drive to publish music, but that's explained in your homeless journey. And people who are interested in your homeless journey can subscribe and comment to watch the video when it's released. Let's move on. The winter is brutal, but you live. You decide to take a week-long trip to a nearby city with a large population over the holidays. You sleep outside instead of using a hotel and store your stuff in a storage unit with month-to-month contracts. You eat using your food setup, which only requires you to visit a grocery store once per week to restock your food. The city has a public transportation system, and you use this cheap system to get around. So you are taking a vacation, but it costs almost nothing. You decide to visit a strip club during this vacation and meet a lot of girls who demonstrate behaviors which teach you about the provisional nature of women. You suck on a lot of girls' boobs, and there is one girl in particular you really like. She gives you her number, kisses you on the lips without tongue, and tells you to come back with a provisional objective to further your relationship with her. So you are motivated to reduce your excess assets costing you money. How do you reduce your excess assets? You reduce your rented storage units from 3 to 1. You pawn unused items. You spend $6 per week on average to go to work in a round trip by taking a bus in the morning of the first working day and leaving in the morning of the last working day in each workday series. All your gear is held in a suitcase, which your coworkers cannot understand. All your food for the workday series is stored in this bag, which helps you eat up to 12,000 calories over 4 days while still adhering to your macronutrient, micronutrient, vitamin, and mineral goals. A month goes by and you are supposed to go on a date with the girl you met in the nearby city during your vacation. But it snows, and she doesn't want to leave her house or have you visit her there. You make no excuses and visit the strip club in the nearby city despite the snow on the road in case she changes her mind. The club is dead, but you meet another girl who invites her friend to dance with you and then appeal to their provisional desires. That's when the magic happens. You lose your virginity to 2 girls at once, and the girl you comes in with a condom kisses you on the lips without tongue while the other licks inside your ears when the experience is over. So you're not a virgin anymore after a threesome and you have yet to experience your first tongue kiss. But whatever. What's there to complain about? Nothing. You had sex with 2 very attractive girls and spent less than $1,000 in the entire day. Your coworker spends more money on his wife per month, and all he complains about is having no Let's not get distracted. 2 weeks go by. You take another trip to the nearby city for an experience with the girl you were supposed to experience first, and she kisses you on the lips without any tongue. Then, 3 months go by without any significant experiences. You attempt to find other ways to reduce your spend during this time and also make money as the girl from your second experience continues to make provisional demands of you. One way to reduce your spend is to move to the nearby city and accept a job which pays the same amount as your current job. You find a way to complete these tasks and also have society pay you for it. But the girl from your second experience ends her relationship with you soon after you move to the nearby city. You have an experience in the club with a third girl soon after you move to the city. The third girl kisses you on the lips without any tongue, and her provisional demands are less than the other girls. You are making progress, right? Your next experience happens outside the club with a different girl and you are both naked, but this experience is not as significant as the final experience discussed in this video. The fourth girl does not kiss you on the lips and her provisional demands are less than the other girls. The final experience discussed in this video happens about 140 days after the first experience. That's 20 weeks or 4.6 months. But now, you are an entirely different man. You cannot be coerced with money because you understand its acceptance in exchange for your energy is a consensual exchange. You do not see money as a way to support people anymore. Now, your money is a tool, and you use this tool to get what you want. So what do you want? You don't want sex with a condom because contraceptives are for losers. You can read why by accessing the log in the description. Suppose you meet another girl at the end of a brutal night. You get her number and meet her the next day to appeal to her provisional desires. But she is different because she doesn't make you use a condom and gives you the option to come in her even when you decide not to. She asks after your experience whether you have a girlfriend, and you know what that means? Well, if you know, You know, she doesn't kiss you on the lips. Now, suppose you are me. Have I ascended? I understand now ascension is not a result, but a process which cannot end until I have children, and those children have children. Sleeping outside ended my virginity. It increased my chance of passing my human genetic traits to the next generation of humans. So, why would I stop? Subscribe and comment to watch the next video.